Cubamajigs are reusable gaming packs for cube sideboards and other games. New designs from your favorite MTG artists are launched every Monday, so go check them out at cubamajigs.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Wednesday means it's Wildcard Wednesday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and we have a really spicy, super unique Legacy list to look at today. This is Worldgorger Dragon combo for Legacy, and it comes to us from MK89, who took it to a 5-0 finish in a competitive Legacy League on Magic Online. So congrats to MK89 on a really sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break down Worldgorger combo for Legacy. If you enjoy this deck and you'll want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Worldgorger combo, to really understand what this deck is trying to do, we gotta just walk through the combo piece by piece by piece, and then we'll talk about the other cards in the deck. So step one of this combo is Worldgorger Dragon, one of the most unique creatures probably in the entire history of Magic. So you get a 6 mana 7/7 flying trampler. The thing is, when Worldgorger Dragon comes into play, you exile all your other permanents, everything, lands, creatures, all of it's gone. However, when Worldgorger Dragon leaves play, you get all those cards back. So the idea of this deck is to use Worldgorger Dragon to create this strange infinite loop. So we're going to talk about how you go about that right now. So step one of this combo is get Worldgorger Dragon into the graveyard. Hardcasting Worldgorger doesn't actually do what we need it to do. We need it to be reanimated for this to work. So Entomb just lets us tutor our Worldgorger into the graveyard, and then we proceed to reanimate it with the help of Animate Dead. So Animate Dead, it's kind of a weird reanimation spell. The thing is, with Animate Dead, it's an enchantment, and so it enchants a creature in a graveyard, it returns that creature to play, but then when Animate Dead leaves play, it's the creature that it is enchanting and reanimating gets sacrificed. So what this does is create a weird loop. If we reanimate Worldgorger Dragon with Animate Dead, Worldgorger Dragon comes into play, and the remove all your permanents from play is triggered, which means Animate Dead is removed from the game, which means Worldgorger Dragon is going to die, which means the second part of Worldgorger Dragon triggers. It leaves play, we get all of our cards back, which includes the Animate Dead, which then enchants Worldgorger Dragon again to come back into play, exile all of our stuff, including Animate Dead, which then gets rid of the Worldgorger Dragon, which then gets back to Animate Dead, which reanimates Worldgorger Dragon. You see where this is going. We basically have a loop when we reanimate Worldgorger Dragon with Animate Dead, where all of our permanents get exiled, all of our permanents come back into play, then all of our permanents get exiled, then all of our permanents come back into play. It does this again and again and again, and this is the loop we're looking to use to win the game. So to find our pieces, we have Brainstorm and Ponder, which just churn through our deck, make sure we can find our Animate Dead to set up our combo. But how does this combo actually win us the game? And here we go a little bit deep. So first off, with the loop where we are exiling all of our permanents and returning them to play as Animate Dead and Worldgorger Dragon are looping, the first thing we can do is we can tap all of our lands for mana in between that loop. So our lands are in play, we tap them all for mana, then they get exiled by Worldgorger Dragon, then they come back into play and they're untapped again, so we can tap them all again for mana. So that loop gives us infinite mana is one thing that it does. So I'm not going to show you all the lands in this deck tech, it's already going to be a long one, but we got a bunch of fetch lands, original dual lands, some basic lands. So the loop makes infinite mana. It can also draw us infinite cards. If we have Baleful Strix out, as we're looping and making infinite mana by tapping our lands, we're also repeatedly blinking Baleful Strix, which is drawing us a card each time. So this loop, we have to be able to stop it. We want to draw our entire deck, but we don't want to keep drawing once we draw our entire deck, because then we would lose to milling ourselves out. So the next piece of the puzzle is, as we draw through our entire deck, we're going to find our Abrupt Decays, and we have infinite mana, so that's not a problem. And then once we draw our entire deck, we can Abrupt Decay the Animate Dead, which stops the loop. So the loop is over, the loop is stopped, we have infinite mana, we drew our entire deck, we don't mill out because we kill the Animate Dead with the Abrupt Decay. Then, to win the game, we use one copy of Cunning Wish to tutor Stroke of Genius from our sideboard. Stroke of Genius, target player draws X cards for 3 and 10x at instant speed? Well, we just use this with all of our infinite mana, targeting our opponent, force our opponent to draw their entire deck, and win the game that way. So that is the main plan of the deck. The other thing that's worth noting is, as we draw our entire deck, we're going to draw 3 Force of Wills and a Flusterstorm. So even if our opponent has some disruption for our win condition, the Stroke of Genius, we have a way to stop that. We're going to have multiple counter spells, infinite mana, so being able to stop it and force through the combo kill with Stroke of Genius, not a problem. So that is the main plan of the deck. I know it's a little convoluted, it's a little long, but that's the main idea of what we're trying to do. We also have some backup plans. We have 1 Grizzlebrand. We can just put Grizzlebrand in the graveyard, reanimate it, draw a bunch of cards. 1 Gurmag Angler as a backup beater. Snapcaster Mage for value with all of our spells. Leovold, kind of protection, stops our opponent from drawing cards. Not a bad option to have in the deck. Then we have Thoughtseize and Hymn to Turak to pick apart our opponent's hand. Fatal Push for some removal. Liliana the Last Hope, graveyard value, also could be removal in the right matchups. We already talked about having Flusterstorm and Force of Will in the main deck. We also have more copies in the sideboard. So in the sideboard, apart from the Stroke of Genius, which we already talked about, which we never sideboard in, we just tutored up with Cunning Wish to win the game, some more counter spells. Then we have a backup plan where we can actually take out our combo pieces and not be a graveyard deck. We can bring in True Name, Umezawa's Jitte, another Liliana, and try to win the game with Snapcasters, True Name Nemesis, Gurmag Anglers, and get away from the graveyard plan if our opponent's bringing in like Leyline of the Voids, Rest in Peace, other graveyard hate. Assassin's Trophy for removal of anything. Diabolic Edict to get rid of a creature. Marsh Casualties, really good against tokens, also against decks like Death and Taxes. Extirpate for opponent's graveyard and combos. Another Hymn for more discard. And that is Worldgorger Dragon combo for Legacy, and that's been our instant deck for today. So that was a long one. It is a crazy deck. The combo takes a little bit of walking through, but it's also super, super sweet. So anyway, that's been our deck. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.